Everyone in the service industry has a story, crazy customers, wild orders, and WTF moments. Do you want to start a tab? The podcast here to bring you those tales from behind the bar. My name is Carl, and life is changing in a good way.
Yes. My name is Riley, and he did not give me enough time between stories to figure out what story I'm reading.
I'm fast. I'm fast as fuck, boy. So on this, Jesus Christ, on this lovely little podcast, we like to read stories off the internet about the hospitality industry through the eyes of an employee or a guest. Talk about it. Was it handled correctly? Should it have been handled differently? And then we rate the story 1 through 5, 1 being your average story, 5 being a crazy fucking story, which we had a 5 on our last episode. So go check that out if you haven't yet. And yeah, we like to have some fun. And we also drink. Oh my God, I just hit puberty.
Oh my God.
And we're drinking more Bullet Train to Iowa. It's just a cocktail I came up with. Some bourbon, Entre Reyes, a little bit of Demerara, and Molde bitters. Cheers, my love.
Cheers.
So, Riley teased it.
Yes.
Last week, and we had an interesting experience. You want me to put it?
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Yeah.
Haha, I said it first.
I host this thing called Rockstar Bingo, which is music bingo at Seven Hills where I work at. It's on at 9 o'clock, and we decided we want to go to a bar that's right across the street. They stay open late because most bars in this area close by 9 or 10. And they make okay drinks.
They make drinks.
They make drinks. God. So anyways, we went, and because we were going to meet other coworkers, but they were closing, and they had like 45 minutes. So we went there. Right. We sat on the patio, and I go to Riley, I go, what would you like to drink? And you say?
I don't know. Okay. So similar to the last episode, when I go to places that I'm not familiar or I read their menu list, I read their menu and I'm like,
I see what you did there.
None of this is tickling my fancy. Mm-hmm. I don't want any of these things. It's probably going to be oversweet. It's probably going to be, it uses cheap ingredients, which is fine. Mm-hmm. And the price point on those menu drinks is appropriate for the ingredients. Mm-hmm. So cool. I can do that, but I don't want to right now. Right. My go-to is an old fashioned.
Yep. You're
Thanks
welcome.
To you.
You're welcome. So that's what she says, an old fashioned. I'm like, okay. And I don't know this bartender. He barely looks 25 fucking years old. He's young, which is fine. I don't care about your age. I'm just saying he looks new. He looks
very fresh.
Raw, fresh, whatever you want to say. So I go to him. I think I want to do some old fashions. How do you make it?
Again. Ask the questions. How do you make it?
I ask everyone. Unless I know you or I see the recipe on the fucking menu, I'm going to ask. Because I'm a fucking not an asshole. I know what I want, and that's what I want. Right. So he goes, why does everyone keep asking me that? First of all, shut the fuck up. I've been doing this for 13 years, and people still ask me. Because guess what? They don't know me.
Because we are on the border of Wisconsin.
That is also a key factor. If you're within 60 miles of the outside border of Wisconsin, you should probably ask how your
I feel like we hammer this point all the time. Every episode.
We're gonna keep doing it.
We're gonna continue to bash Wisconsin. It has nothing to do with their football team that rivals the Iowa Hawkeyes.
No, we don't give a fuck about that. So he's like, I put a couple dashes of bitters. He takes this big bottle, the big ass 16-ounce one. He picks it up and waves it in front of me. And I'm thinking, why are you waving the fucking bottle of bitters in front of me? And whatever. And then he goes, some whiskey. And then I top it off with soda water or Sprite. Mm-hmm. I go, and that's why I ask you how you make it. He goes, why? I go, I do not want any of that. He's like, well, people like it. I go, that's a Wisconsin style. And I do not like that style. And he just was flabbergasted that someone doesn't want that style. This bar tends to be on older crowd, which they all like that Wisconsin style.
The supper club style.
Which is fine, whatever. So anyways, he goes, well, how do you make it? I'm like, 2 ounces of bourbon, a 1/4 ounce of Demerara syrup, and 2 dashes of bitters. He's like, I don't know what Demerara syrup is. I'm okay with if you don't know that.
Right.
Because
he looked 25.
And this bar probably doesn't make it for anything.
He didn't still have acne, but like that was a...
Then I go to him. I go, all right, I'll just take Cedar Ridge. He's like, I don't know what that is. That should have been my red flag of don't fucking order old fashioned. And the only reason I say that is because it's distilled an hour away from us.
Like 90 minutes. It is.
It is about as local as you can get for us.
As the crow flies,
Yeah.
it's probably 60 miles.
Yeah. So that is a local bourbon, which it irritates me when a lot of bars don't carry it because like we're Iowa, it's Iowa bourbon.
Let's support the places that we have that are notable, and Cedar Ridge is one of those places.
And it's a fantastic fucking price point.
It's a good bourbon.
It's good bourbon. It's fantastic.
It's really good bourbon.
So then I tell him, I go, okay, just do like 3 dashes of bitters. And then I go, I'm scanning their bar. All the bottles are on one shelf. There's no high shelf, low shelf. There's just one back shelf. And I see Knob Creek. I know the price of Knob Creek. It's like a $30, $35 bottle of bourbon. Nothing crazy.
Which means that the shot should theoretically come out to...
Like a shot, I mean like 2 ounce pour if I ordered it neat.
Yeah, the pour.
$10 at most.
Right.
Like I would be willing to pay that.
Right. Easily.
So then
Happily.
he makes it and then he hands me the drinks and I already can tell they're fucking wrong.
They were red.
They had a red hue in them.
It wasn't a red hue. They were red.
Oh, you know what? I bet he did. I bet he put cherry juice in the fucking thing.
No, there was no cherry juice in it. It would have been sweeter than it was.
Oh, that's true.
No, it was all bitters.
Yeah.
He put like 8 dashes of bitters in that drink.
Then he goes, again, I ordered 2 Knob Creek Old Fashions. He goes, $44. And then I look at him and I go, are you talking to me? I say something like that. Like me? And he's like, yeah. The guy next to me, who I don't fucking know, is drinking something. And he looks at me like you got
Like,
fucked.
Yeah.
And I go, $44. He's like, yeah, that's what we charge. I go, that's ridiculous. He's like, it's what's in the system. Do you want to print out?
That means you charge $11 per ounce of Knob Creek. How many shots in a bottle?
25.
So that means at that price point, you are making
$275.
$275 on a $35 bottle of whiskey.
That's like 1,000% markup on it. Probably maybe even more. But anyway, so I go to him. I'm like, that is ridiculous. He's like, no, this is top shelf. I go, I don't care what shelf it is on.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. Like, this is a $35 bottle of bourbon. You can, and he's just like, no, that's what we charge. And I go, whatever. And so I gave him 50, tipped him.
You tipped him great.
15%.
You tipped him great for 2 drinks.
And whatever. And so I come out to you, I set the drinks down, and I go, guess what I paid for these? And I think you said
$30.
$30.
Because the way that you were upset about it.
You knew I was upset. So.
I knew that you were like, oh, this is way too much for Dubuque.
And then I
was like $30 because $15 for a basic ass old fashioned served in a single rocks, not a double rocks glass, with ice cubes, not a single cube.
Rock, yeah.
That seemed to be enough to be ludicrous to me.
So me and that's not sneaky, but I just want to I knew where I was going with this. I'm like, $22. Like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm like, no. A piece. And even you almost fell out of your fucking chair because you're like, you actually paid that? I go, he didn't tell me what the fucking price was until after he made them.
Then I proceeded to tell you, why didn't you just ask for Old Granddad? Because I like that better than Knob Creek.
That motherfucker ain't gonna know what Old Granddad was. And they don't have that there. But
fucking well.
And so then the rest of the night, I'm just furious about this. So then
he let it ruin his night.
I did let it ruin my night. And so then our friends came over from the Seven Hills.
Work, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, let's do some shots. So I go there. Now they have 2 bartenders. Now it's the other bartender. He's probably like 30, 33. He's like your age, I think.
Yeah. He's older. He seems to be experienced.
Right. And then he gives me the 4 shots and like $18. I'm like, and I go, whew, thank God it wasn't 44.
Thank God it wasn't top shelf.
And then he goes, that was the right price for those. That's a top shelf bourbon. I go, it doesn't matter. I've been doing, I said something. I go, it doesn't matter if it's on the top shelf. That is, I just paid for the entire bottle with my 2 old fashions.
Right.
And he goes, that's how it's standard.
No.
And I go, no, it's not. He's like,
That's wine.
He was like,
That's wine.
He was like, well, then, obviously you don't know what you're talking about. Or he said something like that. And I go, sir, I've been doing this for 13 years, bartending in Eastern Iowa. I know the prices of everything. I know what they should be charged. There's sometimes I'm okay getting charged a little bit more because
I am actively working on pricing out cocktails to serve.
That also too. And he goes, I think you're just wrong. I was so close with pulling out the "you don't know who I am" card.
And Carl Bush never pulls out the "you don't know who I am" unless he's trying to pick up a chick.
Right. And that usually works. But case in point. But I didn't because I'm like, I'm not in the mood to go down this fucking road right now because we've already drank the drinks. We paid for them.
Right.
So
why didn't you just say, I don't want these?
Why? Because at the end of the day, we ordered them. And there's times people order shit and I don't tell them the price and I do it. But if something is around $20 for a pour, I tell people, hey, this is like $20.
Right, but that's not their whole thing. They would not train their bartenders to do that.
But I'm saying, like,
he was so new that it's probably one of his first jobs. Like, let's not blame him for that. Let's blame the people who make the prices. But like, think about it this way. The last episode, we told her, like, or we told the person who posted, I assume it's a her.
It is.
Because you said it. Take it back if you don't like it. And we didn't do that.
But
at the same time, it was.
I already kind of knew I'm not going to win this battle. I ordered them. Right. They made them.
Right. Because again, that's the people who set the prices, not the bartender's fault. And the bartender's not going to be able to do anything about that.
And luckily, I know the owners of this place, and I have not still reached out to them because I'm trying to find a civil-ish way of complaining.
Just out of curiosity, why do you charge $11 for an ounce or $11 per ounce of Knob Creek?
Right. Why did I pay $22 for a Knob Creek Old Fashioned?
No, why do you charge $11 per ounce of Knob Creek?
Well, either way, it's the same thing, but like,
yeah, but make it more mathematical.
Mathematical, yeah.
That's why we talk about this. Like, make it more logic based, not emotion based. Why did I pay $22 for an old fashioned? Is very emotional.
And that's passive aggressive too.
No, it kind of, but no, it's aggressive, and I think it's more aggressive than coming at it with a logic. Why do you charge $11 per ounce of Knob Creek when, in theory, according to standard pricing, this should come out to X amount? And a lot of people were telling you that, oh, you went to a nightclub, you should expect to pay those prices, or oh, that's what you pay in big cities. Listen,
we're not in.
We've been to big cities. We've been to Chicago. We've been to San Diego. We've been to Minneapolis.
I've been to New York.
You've been to New York, and you have.
We've been to Dallas.
Never paid $22.
I'm not saying like I know there's probably some place that does charge that, and it is what it is. But this is fucking Iowa. Our mortgage is $540 a month.
Right.
Like the highest drink price on most menus at most will be $13, and that is.
We've paid up to $16. No, not in Dubuque, but in Des Moines, we paid $18 for a Manhattan.
Yeah, but I'm saying like even like specifically Dubuque, Iowa.
But even for in Des Moines, that would be too much, is what I'm saying.
Right? No,
like
I get
that
it,
is too much. That's too much in Chicago for Knob Creek.
Yeah, I'm just setting the standard of what we're used to paying. Because I get it, bigger cities rent and all that shit is through the fucking roof, and you have to charge that much to cover your basis. But where we're at, $13 is like the cap of where you like fancy something, unless you order something crazy. Listen, but Knob Creek is a $35 bottle of bourbon.
I'd been okay at $16. I'd have been okay at $16 per drink. It's that extra $6 that really fucking chaps my ass.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was shitty. If it was good, I would be still pissed.
Like if it was balanced and it had the right amount of sweet and bitter and whiskey components, I'd have been okay. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was just bad.
I don't know.
It tasted like the kid was offended that you asked him how he made his old fashioned, so he decided to give us an ounce of bitters with our cocktails.
But today's just going to be a single story. This is just our little rant. But tell us, go on our subreddit, follow us, DM us, let us know what you pay for old fashions where you fucking live. And just remember, Tip your bartenders. Drink responsibly.
Don't be a dick.
And don't be a dick. I totally fucked that up, but fuck it.